dads.
Oh, right. This one was me. The Parliament of Papas, by the way. You're about to be 6. Get it right, Jebby. Come on. Okay. So I popped this one up. As of this recording, Mother's Day is this Sunday coming up. So I have look, just go to the graveyard and just leave us out of it. All right, come on. John, yes, Mother's Day is coming up. And the way the Parliament says, whose responsibility is it to celebrate Mother's Day and to what extent? I'll go ahead and preface this myself. And
Charles doesn't like celebrating anything except his own birthday.
I don't even get that half the time. Look, I like a great celebration. I just don't know what one looks like. Okay,
especially if the new kitten comes home.
I am going to strangle you. I am going to. You're going to come to Dragon Con. No, you're going to come to Southern Fried, and I'm going to use your phone, and it's going to be like, hey, text Kelsey, hey, babe, I'm on my way home. Then we'll throw it in the back of a truck, and they'll GPS it somewhere, and you'll just be gone. Don't worry about it. Starting that mess. So, Mother's Day, Joe, focus. So, mother, kid, right? It's in the name. As the son of my mother, I feel like, yes, I should probably do something. I've had a strained relationship with my mom off and on through the years. I feel like it is what it is. You do what you feel like doing. When it came to us having our first child at the time, my wife's mother was like, you got to do something for her. I'm like, she's my wife, not my mom. And he's 1. He's not even 1. He was 6 months old when Mother's Day came around. And my wife and I actually agreed to ourselves there at the time. The kids do something when they're old enough to realize they can do something. Now, of course, as the income maker and the 6, 7, 8-year-old doesn't have money, I've got to help them. But is it your responsibility as a husband to celebrate your wife because she's a mom? Is it your responsibility to herd the cats and make sure the teenagers and the kids celebrate their mom? And is it your responsibility as dads, as the husbands, as the partners here, not so much as the sons, but yes, you can answer as a son. What's the extent? Who's supposed to do this and why?
I think that Mother's Day is about honoring the mothers in your life, not necessarily just your mother.
Of course. This has been Kiss Kelsey's butt night, okay? But also, if it's your real opinion,
It is. Okay. And but that said, how it looks in reality, at least in my life, is we get together with my in-laws. We have a special meal, which is usually my mother-in-law. She doesn't do beef well. Sometimes we'll get steak.
Oh yeah, me and her have been beefing for years.
but usually she really, really likes pork chops. And so we often do pork chops and a seafood salad and some vegetables, and we have a nicer meal usually based on what my mother-in-law wants to have, to be honest, because my wife and I are pretty just go with the flow type of stuff. And we have our kids will usually make something for both their mom and their grandma, and
okay.
We keep it relatively low key, to be honest. It's not like we go above and beyond for the entire day, but we have some nice time as a family is what we generally do. I will get my wife a gift. As far as everything goes for my mother-in-law, I tend to leave that up to my wife to take care of her mom. But so I'll help brainstorm and stuff, but ultimately I leave the decision up to my wife, what she wants to do.
And at this point, Malachi and Bob are old enough to guide the day, to put input in on what they're going to do for their mom. And actually, Jeb's getting there. I mean, at 6, they can help give some with you give them some choices or whatever is what I would think. But Kurt, I got you. What you looking at?
Yeah, I just had a question. Joe, you said you get your wife a gift. Is that on behalf of the kids or on behalf of you?
Good question.
A little bit of both, but I did tell my kids, I'm like, I got this gift for this year. I was like, I got this gift for your mom. What are you guys doing? And it's just kind of like, what's your plan? This can be from all of us, but what effort are you actually putting into this? And so, yeah. So I did make them contribute, but
yeah. I mean, when my kids were younger, I definitely helped things along because they can't, they couldn't.
No concept of time in those kind
right.
of things,
Yeah. But as they got older and once they got jobs and whatnot, my contribution pretty much got relegated to, hey, remember it's Mother's Day on Sunday.
Yeah.
And because I'm very much it's my responsibility to deal with my mom. And once the kids are old enough, it's their responsibility to deal with their mom. And so that's kind of where and we treat Father's Day exactly the same way. So for my kids, they're adults, right? And so if my wife were to say, hey, you know what, for Mother's Day, I'd like to have this for dinner or whatever. Cool. I got no problem with that. I'll of course, but frankly, the secret is if she asks me any day for something specific, she's getting it. So, but she wouldn't think of it other than on a special day type situation. So I don't know, pretty boring, but not my responsibility anymore.
Yeah, so then it goes to a question. I think we're all kind of that similar neighborhood. I mean, it shouldn't, because everybody has their own opinion, and I can respect boundaries, but it does irk me that you said it should be honoring all mothers. I got reasons why I believe that is incorrect, but as your opinion, there's no right or wrong. That is your opinion.
Okay. Yeah. So I did say in your life, it's not all mothers everywhere. Like the good mother figures in your life, even if it's just reaching out and being like, Happy Mother's Day, bare minimum, I think you should be doing that to the yeah. Anyway, that's just my opinion.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, to be fair, like my mother-in-law, I would say Happy Mother's Day too, but I'm not going getting gifts and stuff.
My mother-in-law, to her dying breath, did not like me. I did not do too crass about telling her Happy Mother's Day, but I wasn't going to make a stink out of it.
Right.
I honestly don't care. I do take issue. Let me see if you guys have had this happen in your life, and maybe it's just the circles I run in, but I do take issue with using Happy Mother's Day or even Happy Father's Day like it's Happy Holidays or Merry Christmas as a greeting. And I cannot tell you how many times on Mother's Day I've walked in to somewhere in Georgia, the deep South, where it's like, Happy Mother's Day. I'm like, I'm fat, not pregnant, and I'm not a woman, so I am not a mother. Stop telling me Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't get that up here. Okay. Like it's not used that way. Well, I mean, again,
they feel the maternal energy coming off of you, so they wish you a Happy Mother's Day.
That must be it.
Now, here's where, and none of this is actually coming from any kind of real life story right now, but here's where I'm a little stuck. I'm not sure what to do.
Math?
Because, no, I math okay when I'm not talking, so which is rare, but I can do it when I shut up for 3 seconds. No, it's, I've done what you said, Kurt. You and I have very, very similar visions. Younger, guide them, help them, pay for things. Hey, I know what she likes, so here are 3 things. Would you like to go out for that? Fortunately, or however you want to look at it, I think fortunately, my kids have had jobs off and on since they were little, doing acting and those kind of things. So they've had money. So if they wanted to go get something, I would just take them to go get it for. But this year, you got a 20-year-old and a 19-year-old, and they're very much in their own worlds. Oakland is very much growing up and doing some adulting. Crosby's hitting that very, in our family, a very short transition period of being an idiot teenager and all this other stuff. And then I know she'll hit that moment in adult, even though she's keeping a job. I've said, starting 2 weeks ago, Mother's Day is coming up in 2 weeks. The younger ones, they do tend to, and it's not some dumb, at different ages, things are dumb, right? When you're 16, it's dumb just to put a big ... smile, Happy Mother's Day card, right? Like you're 3. But they can do certain levels of drawing. It's very creative and it comes from them, right? It's not just a crappy throwaway card. The 2 younger ones will do that typically. And neither Aaron nor I like crowds for any really good reason. And so we're not going out to eat for any reason on Sunday because Aaron might be doing lunch, brunch, afternoon, late lunch, early dinner. They'll be doing dinners. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know how much it'll hurt her feelings if we don't do something. I don't know if I should try to take her out like Saturday afternoon and just say, hey, here's a good family dinner. Because she flip-flops between, she says she doesn't want celebration.
She really does.
For something. But if it comes from me, it's not going to mean jack, right? So I really, really have to step back and take my hands off of it and just watch the car crash. If it's a car crash. So for the birthday, like Kurt, you've said stuff about, or Joe, I can't remember when you said, or no, I think it's Kurt. She's like, hey, your mom likes this, or she's looking for that. You remind them, and then they go do. I did that for her birthday, and it worked out really well. I told the kids, like, look, I'm just going to buy as much Dr. Pepper as I can handle. Yeah, because she loves it, and it's funny. And we had a pile of Dr. Pepper today, but me and Oakland took it serious. Crosby just kind of didn't. And she came in with a little bit, and I was disappointed in her, but it's like, man, I can't really avoid the life car wreck that I'm seeing about to happen of hurt feelings and moments that matter being missed. It just kind of sucks.
The danger is, are you in any danger of getting blamed for it?
Oh no, I don't take blame. Have you met me? I don't care. Yeah, no.
Whether you
no,
take
right
it or not, is Aaron's blame pointed towards you?
I mean, even if it is, there's nothing I can do about that. You know. Yeah. But I can't answer that directly. I don't know because I've always, in the 25 years we've been married, I've always stood on the grounds of this is me, that's you, this is what we do. And yes, we've blamed each other for stuff we probably shouldn't have, and some we should have, and whatever. But in this case, it's really the kids.
Right. What I like what you said there, because you kind of hit on a very different note. I think the most important thing is communicating expectations, because if you will want to talk to your wife and see what she is expecting of you. Is she expecting you to, as a husband, to celebrate her on Mother's Day? And it sounds like you two have already had that conversation. So this is more geared towards people who are newer in a relationship or newer married, or, you know, because there have been early on when my wife and I first got married, we had this conversation. We're like, you're not a mother yet, but you're a future mother. Do you want to be celebrated on Mother's Day? Like we had that conversation. And so I think just in general, having a conversation about expectations is probably the wise way to go about things in general.
And even then you might run into people aren't always honest with each other.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
So this is definitely an old man Kurt moment here, but when it comes to things like Father's Day, Mother's Day, any even Valentine's Day to a certain extent, if my spouse were to say, here are my expectations for this holiday from the receiving end of things, I have a real problem with that.
Well, so
because that kind of defeats the purpose from a celebration to an obligation.
I
know where
get
Joe's
that.
going, but go ahead, Joe.
So I when I said have a conversation about expectations, it's not a give me your laundry list of what you want. It's more it is a conversation about not only your wife's expectations, but what your expectations for the day are, and having a compromise, or see just how far apart your two expectations are of what the holiday is. So I'm not just saying, hey, give me your list of demands and let's get this terrorist day over with.
Shoot the hostage. Yeah. I
Release
that's where I
the
thought you were going,
hostages.
Joe. It's like, okay, if you don't actually, so early on when we were married, you know, I think yeah, so
He's doing some mental math here. He can't talk
I
and do
am.
math at the same time.
I was. No, I guess it was Christmas. I don't remember. No, you're right. But we did have that question of like, hey, if you're expecting, do you really want to be recognized as a mom? And we're very dark-minded. I mean, we came up through emergency medicine. We're kind of dark-minded people. We're like, no, because that would kind of be the worst thing to have a Mother's Day card and then you lose the baby or something. That was our thought process. But we got to talk about what do you want, and it made me think about it. Like let's flip it to Father's Day, because I can speak for that myself. Is what do you want for Father's Day? Is not what. I'm with you, Kurt. If somebody came to me and went, "All right, it's Mother's Day, and I expect you to wake up. You know, I need a dozen roses from the kids," and I'm like, "You ain't my mama, and I ain't doing it." It would start a fight. But the other way to do it was it wasn't that. It's like, what would you like for Father's Day? And I won't speak on Father's Day because that's the exact story I can tell. What would you like for Father's Day? My thing was, I never want it to be from you. Now, you can inspire the kids, you can help the kids, but Father's Day is about me doing a good job as a father, that they want to do something. And so whatever they want to do is fine. If I don't even get told Happy Father's Day on Father's Day, it does not hurt my feelings. You know, I do not. My only expectation is if you do something, it needs to be personal from the kids. And I've gotten some really cool photo books of just individual photos of me doing stuff with the kids through the ages. My favorite thing ever, we might talk about it again on Father's Day, because I think that'd be a great question of the week, is what's your favorite Father's Day memory? And it can be with your father or as a father, whatever. But y'all have seen it in the old house when y'all came to the other house. And it's stored away somewhere now because we moved. But on the walls for the longest time was just this big poster-sized paper that Chick-fil-A did with questions of, I'll get to that, Steven. But with questions of, you know, what does your father do for a living? And they got to draw pictures and talk about, like Oakland at age 6 or 7 put, my father's a YouTube star on there because he found some of my videos or something. So it's a great thing. It's so perfect because you get to see how they see you at that time. Now, Steven says, I just want someone to buy me socks. And that's what I was ranting about earlier. Mothers can get socks and ties too, because equal rights are equal rights. You can be, you know. But here's the thing. I got to say my caveat every time, Joe. Every time. Holidays are made up by by people who want to sell you crap. Unfortunately, in this society and in this world, some people need that excuse to do something special. I hope that everybody listening will get to that point in their life where you won't even remember it's a holiday, because you are grateful and taking care of the people you love all the time and trying to make them special. Not every day. It's not special if you do something special every day. But just like Kurt, if my wife asks for something, like if we don't have Chinese for a while, she's mad, I really want Chinese, we figure out how to make that happen. But there are definitely times when I see flowers, I just get it for her. Put that up by John. Will you, Joe?
I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, he says, my grandmother said that my grandfather never bought flowers or a gift for her, but she knew he loved her. He said it, and she knew she could get anything she wanted. And and he was a husband, father, and provider. It cuts off weird in the other side of the scene.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I actually changed that, John. He says it's all about expectations. I think it's all about understanding as well. You know, your grandmother understood, and her love language is obviously not gifts, right? Because she, in this story, it didn't kill her that she didn't get stuff. She was told, and she knew she was taken care of. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to like Father's Day and heck, even my birthday, I expect nothing. And if somebody thinks enough to do something, then that ends up being way more meaningful to me.
Yeah.
Versus if I woke up with, ooh, I wonder what's going to happen today. Even that as an expectation feels too greedy to me. And maybe greedy is not too self-centered. It's too self-centered to me. Now that's just me. But I've heard, you know, both men and women on particularly like these kinds of days and Valentine's Day, which again, different topic, different day.
Same vibe though.
It is a bit, but there are expectations, like way more self-centered expectations than I'm comfortable with, from folks, and like to the point of like, well, if they don't come through this year, I'm going to be really ticked off. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, just I don't get it. I don't get it. I think if
makes me think of like bridezillas and stuff.
Yeah,
people
yeah.
who just get way too caught up in being self-centered and needing things to be perfect, and
it's
too much.
That is leaking into the normals, right? From TV. I mean, completely different, but along the same lines. Hey, have you guys experienced promposals yet?
I've seen.
I homeschool to stay the hell away from that.
I have seen some things, and I am flabbergasted at the not just the level that kids go through, but the level that their parents support them in that.
Let's bring that as a parliament and dig into as a parent.
Sure.
How do you handle that? Because that's where we are today. We can talk about where it came from. I never got to go to prom, but that's okay.